review, a little bit of a follow-up and kind of a connectivity to what we did in our walkthrough, what we experienced, what we felt. What resonated for you so far? What has made sense of what we picked up on? We haven't even gotten to the meters or any of the real sparkly, shiny bells and whistles, but what about the cold walkthrough spoke to you?
The biggest thing was the first bedroom.
Okay.
And what resides there. Another thing is the dark-haired man.
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying sounds so much like my dad, because he was in the Navy.
Oh, so
the clean cut, and then he was a mountain man though. He
seriously?
Yeah.
Like seriously?
Yeah. No, he.
Oh wow.
He owned a claim on the river, so we would we would live on the river for like the whole summer, and then you know whatever, and he lived in Forest Hill.
Oh,
and he just loved his Forest Hill, and he was really pissed off when they talked about putting a stoplight in Forest Hill. So,
I know that stoplight.
Yeah. Is there a stoplight now? Oh my God.
By the fire station?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
They didn't put it up before he died.
Oh man.
And but he was like, God damn it, God damn it, you know. So
he seems like a very
it.
bold soul, like his energy just feels like.
And then the wild part, he was always, his motto was, I may be getting older, but I refuse to grow up. So he was always like a kid.
Okay.
He used to do wrought iron.
Oh, so with the working with the hands.
He used to make these wrought iron like bookcases and huge things. Later on in life, he got rheumatoid arthritis stuff, so he couldn't do much with his hands.
Okay.
And so what you're saying about that person,
it made sense to you.
It seems like it may be him.
Okay.
But
because he felt like he belonged, like he acted like he knew you, and he acted like he knew the energy and he felt.
If he cares about the kids and
it seemed like he was really worried about
the
one in the first bedroom. Like he seemed really concerned.
Yeah, and that would
make sense then. Okay.
The thing is, though, when my dad died, we were so close that I thought we would get each other. Never anything ever happened, and he died in 2012.
Well, grief is a funny thing. It took me about 8 years before I even could sense my grandmother, and we were very close. It took me forever because even though I thought I was quote unquote over it, you never get over it. You just we work around it. You learn a new normal. And it took me a long time, even with my abilities, to sense her. And just in the last couple of years, I've started seeing her in the space. But it took me that long. I could not connect. She tried showing signs and symbols, but I was so obtuse to them because I couldn't. My energy was blocked. So he might have been trying to tell you things for a long time.
Maybe. I mean, I expected it though. I was like, "Where is he? Where is he?"
The expectation also is a funny thing. It blocks. It's a big blocker. The more you demand it or expect it or think it's going to happen, mixed with grief, it almost guarantees it's not going to happen for you.
And that's exactly what was me. I'm like, "Come, let's happen."
Well, he's clearly here. I can feel him. I can see him.
Yeah.
So.
And it sounds like him. I don't know. And the when you explain like the incredibly good soul part of him, like just wants everybody to be okay and be happy. That was totally him.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if it is, but
it feels
like
pretty. Well, for me, because I can't always. Some sensitives or intuitives, they'll get name or they'll get this and that. They'll get real specific things.
Yeah.
I just feel the energy from the soul, so I take it off of what I'm feeling and then what your intuition tells you. If your intuition makes you feel that direction, then I take that as a positive connection. As that's sort of like a hit. That's where your brain is going based on what I'm sensing and feeling and perceiving energetically from the soul. And I mean, he is identifying as connected to you. So process of elimination, I guess, is kind of where it would be,
true.
you know,
That's
based
true.
on what he's trying to convey. But he's so concerned about that one particular person. That's the thing that's bothering him the most. So, you know.
It's probably bothering him because it's bothering me.
Yeah.
I think he's
more concerned because you're so upset and you're worried, and which would make sense. He's trying to baby you and take care of you. Like, oh please, no, we'll do whatever we have to. We'll fix it. We'll, you know, trying to fix.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
Consummate fixer. And he's still trying to fix things. So yeah, I mean, and so what else kind of throughout space by space? You were saying that the bad dreams for the
Savannah's room, yeah. You had mentioned her being held, or you know, the pressure, something, the dream.
And that was a childhood thing for her.
Yes.
Okay.
It was at her dad's house, and she used to see people all the time, and be like, "There's someone sitting on the other end of the bed."
Oh my God.
You know, there would always be the stark figure that would come into her room, and then one time, it held her nose and mouth.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And
so all of that was her childhood still record playing because it's in the back. It must be in her memory banks. She must obviously still
she does
remember all of that.
She'll tell me the same story to the T that she told me, say, 10-something years ago. And
a valid experience.
Yeah,
for her.
and so I asked her, I'm like, do you ever experience this anymore? And she's like, no, I never have. But she remembers it like.
She said she mentioned that she has dreams about running away from something.
Yeah. At this point now, the dreams have changed to be something else because I still feel disturbed sleep. And you know, so if she's having weird, wonky dreams, they're not the same as with something holding her down anymore, but it's still disturbing. It sounds like.
Her,
it sounds like it's a little disconcerting.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to keep having repetitive dreams like that you're running away?
Right, and she's already having
issues.
Yeah.
Clearly. We'll get into that off camera.
Yeah, I know. Well, we can get into it wherever.
Yeah, it just there seems to be some discontinuity going on, and
I can give you more insight into that, but
it feels like there's just not good balance, not good communication, not good trust, not good. There's not a cohesive energy flow, for lack of a better set of terms. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I was just saying that.
Okay. So, yeah, maybe a good smudging in there will do something. I don't know.
Sure can't hurt.
It couldn't hurt.
yeah.
I feel like she needs to value herself a lot more, though. She needs to really value herself a lot more for the unique and special energy that she is. That's where some of the PK is coming from. Oh.
Wait, what's PK?
Psychokinetic energy. The energy, like if anybody in the house has abilities and they're going through something that's stressing them out, they will launch energy into the space, which will then impact the rest of the space, and they don't mean to do it. It's not intentional.
Savannah's been stressed out.
And when you're having a hard time,
she hasn't been herself
energy goes someplace.
And energy just has to change form and go somewhere.
Someplace, and it usually goes right into the.
And then you haunt yourself and the people around you. So
Hey, poltergeist.
I really am gonna have to. I'll hit her room good with some smudge. I'll make sure that we balance that out. But I'm feeling.
You'll have to give me some homework.
Yes.
For this room.
Oh yes.
I mean, I've gone in there because you're like, do this. I got the wood. I got the sink. I would go in there and hit all the corners of the room.
When I went in to get my glass of water, Savannah asked me, "Because can you read me or feel me?" I said, "Probably, but if you really want to know, just talk to Melissa.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of above me."
Well, that's it.
Thank you, John.
The smudge for sure.
How sweet of you.
Yeah.
No, I honestly, the thing is that yes, I can feel their energy, and yes, we can smudge the space and we can reboot the space, but if people don't deal with their own inner crap, it's just cyclical, and it's not Glinda the Good Witch. We can't bop you on the head and and change the whole dynamic. each person has to be responsible for their own energy too and be part of the solution. If you smudge them 17 times, but they don't work on their own personal battles, then it's just like good after bad. It's a thing that they have to get engaged in personal health and growth. And honestly, like if people could, maybe get Sierra to, do
Everyone
some
should
stuff, or
see Sierra.
maybe some Reiki. Some people in the home could benefit from meditation or Tai Chi. I mean, everyone is going to respond a little differently with what works for them.
Yeah.
Hiking, yoga, anything, just something, an outlet, an energetic outlet. Yeah, music is good for the soul, sound therapy, sound healing. But we'll have to, I did send you most of the resource documents already, and I'll talk to you about them a little bit more. And obviously aftercare support is something we're very good about as far as, leading you along. You can email us anytime and we can kind of guide you along the process of more things you can do.
I've been able to email you since January when I first set this up. I'm like, look at this. What is this? And you are so great about responding. And
Well, I'd like to help support people so they can continue to grow and
I know it's
get
just a lot.
out of the crud.
It's just a lot to give of yourself, so I appreciate it. I'm sure
It's a passion.
a lot of people appreciate it.
So, well, thank you.
You're appreciated.
Thank you. Well, so what else made sense to you? I mean, because those are the main things those are the big heavy hitters, but
When you went into the middle room,
yeah.
You felt positive energy. You felt like go-getter. You felt all of that. That's her room.
That's her bed.
Oh, okay, that's your room. All right.
And that
Very
makes,
driven, very
that-
driven, focused energy.
and that makes perfect sense.
Okay,
Excellent.
Yeah,
quite
it
good.
does. It makes perfect sense. Look at that.
I know that dog is happier as hell right there.
He's
John and the
just-
dog are gonna take a nap.
Anyway.
Look, gotta get
Yeah,
it.
get that.
Bizarre.
John made a friend.
Apparently.
That's adorable.
Cute.
Oh well, we love the animals too. I mean, the animals are they're part
good
they're the
peeps.
client. They are clients too. They're
Do you feel
happiness.
any animals in this house?
I did. I felt some energy, and then John said something ran into him, and then but it was higher. But then I honestly thought I saw a dog run by John, like behind him, and knock into him, and then something kind of went by me right about here.
A little bit bigger than a Chihuahua though.
No, it was much bigger. It was I would say it was probably a 40 or 50 pound dog is what it looked like
That's
to me.
the part when when I kind of fell over.
Yeah, you lost your balance. And
Yeah,
then
you
something
lost your balance in one of the rooms,
something
that's true.
ran into him,
Yeah.
and he lost his balance a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. But there's so much land-based energy here too. That just came with the land from years and years and years ago before there was houses. Even
Yeah.
here. And I don't think they're harming anything. I think they're just kind of residual memory energy. I did see a man in his 30s, and I saw a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old with him, and they seem just to be wandering.
Checking it out.
Yeah, like they're almost. It's almost like a memory. I don't even know if they're like fully sentient or interactive, but I did see them wandering around the space. So a good smudge that will help kind of clear some of that record player energy out. And then for some reason, I felt the energy of some cats. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about the man and the children. Did you have a sense of time period for them?
I'm trying to look at what they're wearing. I'm feeling either late 1800s, 1890s to 1905.
Okay.
So somewhere in that
That's
range.
pretty specific.
That would be like back when it was all citrus groves. And stuff.
Yeah, this
I
was the
I
flash.
was seeing covered wagons.
You're
Yeah.
seeing covered wagons.
And that's
Well, that'd be part of the history too.
I was
so-
seeing Old West, so we're all backing each other up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I asked, because I was seeing older, and I wanted to know if that.
That jive
Resonated with
See,
you,
it's,
yeah.
this is how we work together as
Yeah.
a collective,
Yeah.
is we try
So-
to validate each other's, sensations. So that's kind of what I envisioned. So maybe he was just traveling through, or maybe he was farming. I'm not really sure, but he had 2 children. I feel like his wife died.
Of dysentery?
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
sorry.
organ
I'm sorry.
No, actually, cholera.
Oh wow.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
there's a
that's
terrible,
so specific too.
very, very serious cholera.
There was. Wendy's right. There was a big cholera epidemic here.
In the 1850s, there was a cholera epidemic that wiped out the entire town of Sacramento.
There was
It was actually
cholera.
brought in by the Portuguese settlers.
Good.
Wait, was that part of the plague, Black Plague?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Black Plague wasn't here, it was in Europe.
Okay.
Well, no, it was
They
down,
call
like,
it-
there was
they call it
It was
the-
down in Sacramento.
Old Sacramento.
Yeah,
yeah.
they did have many different types of death.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Sacramento in general and the whole areas had a lot of problems, but this woman, they were traveling and she got very, very sick and he had to bury her. And then he had to try to raise the kids. And he was, I feel one of them was a female and he was very nervous about trying to raise a young female.
Cholera was very common back then
So.
in this part of the.
That.
I feel like the
country.
kids lived though. I feel like they made it. I feel like they did. So somehow that man figured it out.
Yeah.
So this may just be a memory. It literally is like an imprinted memory on the space, which that can happen. I mean, if it's strong enough, and so maybe he buried her around this region somewhere, and maybe that's why his energy is collected around.
Yeah.
Because that might be where he laid his
Because
life to rest.
his energy was that,
Yeah.
I mean, his emotion was that strong that it
It's
sticks.
stuck to
Humans
the
leave
land.
mega sludge everywhere.
Yeah, we do, and that's
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying that
that's true.
psychokinetic energy in the space. You know, especially with your one daughter, if she gets stressed out, your own energy can impact your environment. It really can. It's the stone tape theory. You know, walls, bricks, you know, stuff like that, it absorbs.
100%.
You know,
Yeah, we just
so
heard a footstep.
Yeah.
yeah, but I think it was him moving.
No, I
It
didn't
was back
move.
here.
No?
I did not move at all.
Oh boy.
It was
Yeah,
a
it
thunk.
came from back here.
Well, there's a room back behind
Well,
you.
yeah, maybe my son.
Oh yeah, probably
Yeah, okay.
debunk.
Maybe.
What the heck?
I'm not going crazy.
Sorry.
one of those.
I don't know what, I've had too much caffeine or something. But in all seriousness, I think as we're talking, I think I would like to, not right now, but when we break out the meters, I'd be interested in doing a tier crosshair sweep in the backyard.
Okay.
It might pick up if there's
Residual energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd actually
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
to go out in the back
For sure.
because, well, there's reasons.
Yeah.
There's no dead bodies back there.
No,
I didn't
there's-
bury
there's-
anybody.
There's just energy.
Yeah.
There's some, and so, and then also, shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh, when you identified the chair in Brandon's office,
Oh. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
that
That's something.
trips me.
Yeah.
Well, it was-
See, that's the-
it was
No names on that,
previous.
by the way. No names.
Exactly.
We're not.
Residual sludge.
It had sludge. It had
Yeah.
a sludge. Yeah, it had a vibration that was not.
And so
Great.
when I heard that, I started really identifying with certain things. Like if you know, boom, get rid of it, you know.
Yeah, if it doesn't feel right, and that's the thing that I tell people, because we don't want haunted objects, we don't need any of that kind of malarkey. But if we know that there's energy on something, there are ways to deal with it. It's up to the client, and it was up to Brandon in that case. We blessed it, we made it inert, we smudged it. It no longer tripped off the meters once we were done,
Yeah.
but he still just didn't like it. So he
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So he got rid of it,
Yeah.
because he didn't need it. And so that's the kind of the thing is, you know, I can make almost any object in a space more than likely probably inert and no longer connected to a soul, no
Yeah.
longer giving off EMF. But if it's still something you don't like,
Yeah.
you don't have to keep it.
When you do that, are you just smudging away anything negative?
Yeah, only negative. So
Okay.
anything positive
anything
stays
positive
stays in
stays.
the space. So
Okay.
the positive souls. If you do feel that was the soul of your dad, and he gets to stay, he gets to protect. That sweet little old gal
lady.
that just seems to like it here. She's gonna stay because she's really sweet and helpful. Very old gal.
Is she heavy set? Not?
I could
Do you
bear.
not know?
It was really hard to see because sometimes I see their looks and sometimes I see their energy.
Yeah.
And to me, she just seemed a little shorter, and that's all I could tell
Got
was just
shorter too.
Yeah.
just a little shorter gal, and just maybe 5'4" ish, maybe even, give or take, and just kind of this very traditional values and very focused values about things, and just getting into stuff and putting stuff into its place, and like she just
making
sure everything is just right.
Mm-hmm.
That was just kind of the feeling I got from her, but she was also just not really concerned with me. She's like, I'm here, I'm having a good time, I belong here. And then
I'm gonna do my thing.
And then she toddled off. I'm like, all right, well, fine.
She has things to do, you know.
Yeah, like
There's a
as
limit
if I'm
possible.
interrupting her process. But she seems like a sweet soul, and whether she's a direct relative or several generations back, it doesn't really matter. She
Yeah.
loves you. She's here. She wants to love the family. She's part of the soul web.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, you know, I have great grandparents in my house now, some of which
Yeah.
died before I was born.
Right.
But they want to be part of the family dynamic.
Yeah.
So who am I to tell them no? They're not harming anyone. They're sweet.
Yeah.
They're helping. I let them be. So no, any smudging will not remove the positive ones that are trying to help you guys
Yeah. That's
with whatever you need to be doing. But as far as the inability to access the one room, I definitely will leave you the tools to work on. Although you have kind of been working on that, so some of that work is going to be you're going to have to convince him to talk to somebody. He needs to talk to somebody.
I know.
Yes, he can't do it on his own.
He has to. He needs a
That's-
professional interaction, and that will be part of it. That is something we don't obviously do. We're not,
You don't do that too.
Well, just because
They're not physicians.
Just because I majored in psych doesn't mean
joking.
I actually I have no degree in that specifically, so I
You don't
can't.
have all the answers.
They're not actual doctors, so.
Yeah, and honestly,
Suck it.
exactly. So suck it.
Can't believe we just got that on film.
We are just having a whole rad time. But also he'd have to be willing to, actually interact. And so if he won't even sit down with the paranormal people, that's a whole nother deal going
Yes,
on.
it is. Yes, it is. But the fact that you could feel that,
Through the door, no
Through
less.
the door.
actually, before you even went there, you were saying over here that there was a living being that was like the energy was changing everybody else's energy. I forget how you phrased it.
Yeah, and a lot of it, like, although each of you has a little bit of psychokinetic ability and you're launching your own energy, he's probably the major catalyst, and that's gonna be hard because he's going to get rid of a PK manifestation from a living agent. They have to do a lot of self-care and a lot of self-work. That means psychotherapy, that means journaling, that means meditation, that means prayer, whatever it looks like for that person. That means a ton of investment in self-care and correcting what's plaguing you inside. Otherwise, you will continue to toxify the environment.
Right.
It becomes a perpetual where you're going to have to smudge this damn house every damn week
Yeah.
just to manage that energy.
Yeah.
And you may have to until he's ready to talk to somebody.
Right. Yeah, because he's not.
And because a lot of it is coming.
Because you have to.
Yeah, you have to
Be
check
there.
in. You have to check into the.
Smudge going in.
Yeah, you have to check into the process on what's happening and work on the healing. Because a lot of my clients, like, I have PK ability. I have strong I flicker the lights in the damn studio. I mean, my psychokinetic energy is very, very present, but I've been studying a lot of management techniques, and my mentor, Amy Allen, she's on the Dead Files, that very nice, happy, wonderful gal. Amy Allen from the Dead Files.
Oh my God, really?
That's who taught Melissa.
That's my mentor.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just spent a week with her in June. It was very, very
Cool.
wonderful and very helpful.
Wow.
And so
Small world.
I know, right?
It kinda
I saw her on
is.
TV. No, I used
So-
to watch her. Yeah, it was so interesting.
No, she's amazing.
We got to
And
investigate
so,
between Mary with her, yeah. So.
I learned a lot about managing PK ability and making sure that you're doing all of the things you can so you're not harming yourself or your environment.
Yeah.
That you're being very cognizant of that.
Right.
So, writing stuff down, talking to people, meditation, grounding myself, protecting
Beach.
my aura, going to the beach, honestly, stuff like that, just to clear my soul.
Yeah.
You have to be engaged in that. So anybody with PK ability and profound spiritual ability, thank you, hi, needs to do extra work. You can't just hope it's going to stop or go away. If he doesn't check into it, this is going to be
He's very
perpetual.
closed off.
It's going to be a roller
It'll make
coaster.
him sick too.
Yeah, it'll cause physical health problems, mental health problems.
It's
It causes all of aches,
it's
pains.
it's making it's the problem.
It's causing the whole family to feel sick, and the
Yeah.
whole family to feel stressed, and the whole family to feel depressed,
Yeah.
and everyone to feel like they're walking on eggshells and being scared and being nervous,
Yeah,
and what's going to
gonna
happen next, and how are you going to cope with it, and should you even come home, should he leave, what are you going to do? It's this whole cyclical nightmare that is happening in this house because he won't talk to anyone.
She hasn't even met him. And she's fucking nailing it.
You feel
I
it,
get
though.
chills.
Yeah. Well, you know,
So
that's
we-
it.
Exactly.
And
Like I
I
said, that's the
man,
hardest part of my life right now is dealing with that.
Mhm.
But
all you can do is keep smudging him and praying for him and hoping and
I
sending
can't just throw
positive.
holy water on
Well, you
him.
can,
Yeah.
I mean, you
Under the
could.
door.
It'll burn out. It's
I
gone. Woo!
Well, here's
Just a half-gallon jug.
Well,
Like
here's
the
kind of
movies.
here's an interesting thing though. If you do touch him with holy water frequently, it does break energy away from him that might be plaguing him. So it actually wouldn't hurt.
What is that wood?
Palo Santo.
Palo Santo.
Yeah.
Palo Santo is very
So
helpful.
I did that. I shaved it and I walked around him in the
Mm-hmm.
abalone show.
Good.
Good. Palo Santo is great.
I was
It
walking
does
around.
It smells pretty too.
It
So
It does smell good.
Yeah.
It does smell good. But I was like, is he gonna burn?
Doesn't work
Well,
that way. We'll leave you with some supplies tonight.
Yeah, he's
too.
not possessed or anything. He's just
It's just.
he's haunting
Very-
himself.
Yeah.
Broken.
Yeah, he's
in
haunting
a
and
terrible
tormenting.
funk.
He's tormenting
He is.
himself.
He is.
And the problem is that I think he might actually have some really subconscious latent ability of like spiritual nature, and he has no connection to that. He's not connected to that part of his brain. It's in the back 40 here, and then the front of his mind he's very pragmatic and everything is black and white and logical. And but back here there's this ability, and
It's just a terrible
his soul is
confliction.
at war
Yeah.
with itself, and that's why his PK ability is so profound.
The fact that you can feel that energy
Oh, gosh,
from
it's very
outside the
prevalent.
goddamn door.
very
Well, it's
prevalent.
leaking.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, yeah, it's
leaking
like,
out the
it's,
space.
yeah.
it's
I mean,
ground. It's
yeah.
you know, like you said, it affects our
permeates.
whole house. It affects
I'm so
everybody.
sorry.
Do you think you could talk him into a day trip to the Mirror Woods?
Possibly.
It would be that's
that
one
would be like
super.
really
That's a
helpful.
super. That's a super high energy place. It's not gonna, it's not gonna be a miracle cure, but if you could
Where's
get,
the Mirror Woods?
so it's near San Francisco. It's north of San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the.
That's very
It's
yeah.
MUIR, right?
Yeah.
Well,
But-
Interesting.
But it sounds like a lot of the stuff that we've touched on just with the walkthrough has made sense to you.
Yes.
And that you're feeling a lot of resonation for it. So
What? Yeah. No, what you're saying is pretty spot on. What did you get from the garage?
I just felt really claustrophobic in there, and
I mean, it's hot as heck.
yeah,
Yeah, it seems
It just-
it seems
it
hotter than it should be.
it
really.
felt
is hotter than it
felt
should be.
it felt
Why is
weird
it
and
like
trapped and claustrophobic, and I also felt I kept seeing the image of raccoons, and
Raccoons
I
in
just
the
I just kept
crawl
seeing
In the crawl space.
I just
Probably living in the crawl
I just
space.
kept seeing raccoons for no reason or another. But
There was something scratching in the
There are-
attic
there
like
are-
last
there are-
summer.
There are raccoons in this area.
probably was an animal, but it just felt claustrophobic, trapped,
And
and,
you said
and,
the
and sad, and yeah,
opening.
the one opening felt weird. It just felt funny, and I don't know why I felt that way. I looked at it and I felt creeped out
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But a good splash of holy water in there ought to make it a little better.
Yeah.
It just felt a little heavy.
So
That's-
extra
I
hot in
mean,
there, 'cause it's not really hot
It just
outside.
felt wrong.
There's something going on in there because, like, just today, my stepdad came down and he wrapped the water heater in that
Yeah, in the
blanket thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, it's so hot in there.
Yeah.
It's 99 degrees at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hot in
And
there.
I've lived here
My
for
garage
three.
doesn't even get that
I've lived
hot.
here for 3 years, and the hottest it got, because it's very insulated in there.
Yeah.
The hottest it ever got, I remember, is 72. Because there's
And now suddenly it's getting hot all the time?
yes,
That's very
that's
strange
weird.
because it was exceptionally hot in there.
yes.
It's like it would be normally 102 outside. And
Is that the like opening of the door? What I was talking about?
Oh,
Well, I think that's
Bella with the garage,
Mm-hmm.
not the temperature, but the temperature has really been bothering me lately.
well, it seems exceptionally hot in there.
It is.
It just
There's
feels-
something really
the garage
fucked up.
feels creepy.
So,
That's all I can quantify.
My
It felt
stepdad
creepy.
got up into the attic today
Oh, okay.
to check to see if the pipe was good. The pipe was good, so we don't know why it's so hot in there.
And your hot water heater's not giving off any heat, and now it's all insulated and
Right.
everything. It's like,
And it just keeps getting hotter, especially the later in the
that's
night.
illogical. That doesn't make
It
sense.
is.
Well, we could take some readings out there
Yeah.
definitely and see if
That's
we
a good
can't
point.
figure out if there's either
Is there an exhaust
is there like a scientific reason
fan
or if there's
in the
anything
garage or
or if there's a
anything?
paranormal reason.
Well,
I
the
don't
exhaust, the
think
pipe
so.
goes up, and
Yeah.
that's what my
And he
stepdad
checked it,
checked today.
and it's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Little things.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Yeah, we're
That's
gonna have to get to the bottom of it and figure it out.
That is odd.
We'll get some meters in there. We'll just see if there's any either paranormal or scientific or both type of reasons that could be causing something like that. If sometimes you have to get contractors or other professionals out to be like, what the bleep is going on in here?
Yeah.
But we will scan it and check it. It just felt creepy to me. So
Mhm.
I don't know why I felt that way, but that's just how it made me feel.
It makes Bella feel creepy,
Oh,
and
well, I'm glad I could validate you in your feeling. What makes you feel weird about it?
Well, like, I don't know, it was like 2 weeks ago, I was just sitting there and I hear like the door start opening, and I
Oh,
like
how
turned
fun.
I turned around and I was like, oh, maybe it's the cat, like it was open and I like go through. There was like nothing there, and like I kind of just stared at it for a while, and I like there was no like the garage wasn't opening, like nothing was going on. So that kind of weirded me out, and sometimes I walk out and it's open, it's like cracked open a little bit, and I've seen that like a few times this past few weeks.
The inside door here, the
Yeah,
garage,
just
the
the
garage
Yeah,
door,
back
yeah.
there.
And that's a fire door, so it always closes.
The only other garage that made me creep me out was, remember Leah's garage?
Oh yeah, that one was creepy.
That garage, this garage reminds me of hers.
Yeah,
really,
Yes.
yeah,
That's where I was getting touched.
and that yeah, that was
really.
Yeah.
So we ought to smudge that.
Yeah, we will.
Damn garage.
We'll get
I'll
that
fix
a little
it.
Extra smooth.
I'll just fix it.
You know, in there is a lot of my actually everything that I took from my dad's house after he died,
Yeah.
but a lot of it was like stuff that people gave him.
Well, then there could be a lot of residual energy
Yeah.
too, or he could just be accidentally opening the damn door and not meaning to creep everybody out. It could be
No,
totally.
But what's what else? What's the other stuff?
The other people's energy could be a residual imprint that could make it feel heavy
the
and
negative,
weird.
the touching, the
You
opening of the door.
Yeah, that's something that would mean.
That's something that my dad would never do.
Yeah,
No,
and
no,
that's what
that's-
smudging would need to happen
In
in water and
Leah's-
clearing.
In Leah's case, it was her dad who was very angry.
Yeah, and in that case it was, yeah.
Yeah,
That was a whole
She-
nother
We
issue.
had to kick him out.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was a negative energy. He
Yeah.
was not a positive, helpful guy like your dad.
Yeah.
No,
Your dad's
great.
being helpful. He's being useful. But if there's a lot of residual energy from objects out there,
There's
It-
a lot of
it
old
can-
objects.
it can
out
be
there.
very clumpy,
Yeah,
and that
I
can
could see that.
that could really mess up the flow
Yeah.
for sure. So
'Cause
we
a lot of
need
the
to
shit
fix
I
that.
was
Holy
like,
water on
I've
that
never
too.
seen that before. Where'd you get that? Like,
Where'd this come from?
right. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, well, I'm gonna pack it up. Obviously, it was his, but
Yes, like, this is weird.
yeah. So I don't know what came for what. You know. That kind of
Well,
thing.
it's absolutely something that we can rectify, and we can try to quantify with some of our measurements and everything. But if you feel like you've kind of got most of what you wanted to sort of express out, if there's other things, or otherwise we can break out some meters. We could start playing with meters in your house.
Yeah, let's play with meters.
Cool.
Wait,
Cool.
Wait.
I just
Okay.
wanted to put one thing.
Sure.
It was about like 2 days ago, and in my sister's room, I heard like, I'm not sure what it was, but it sounded like a growl.
Oh, I
like
was just
a-
gonna say a growl too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
And
Okay.
I knew my sister wasn't in there because she like wasn't home or anything. So, and it was like dark. So I kind of just like went to my room because I was like, I don't know what that was. And like,
Oh, you
he's
weren't
always
in your
with-
room.
Huh?
You
No, I
weren't
was
in your-
walking out of your room. And I was
Oh.
going down the hallway and I like heard it as I came out of your room.
And they weren't there at the time.
No one was there. Like she was outside with Bo probably because he always follows her.
That's definitely unusual,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
it can come both from a spirit or a ghost, or it could come from a manifestation from somebody in the house. You literally can get hit, scratched, pushed, growled at, all kinds of things from psychokinetic manifestations that are turning into poltergeist activity.
I have
So,
all those.
Yeah.
So was Wendy at one point.
yeah, so
She got pushed down the stairs at one of us.
we've got to do something about this for sure. So we'll explore it. We'll figure it out. We'll try to document it. We'll try to validate it. We'll try to get you an answer and a resolution for it, for sure.
Get things simmer down, because that's.
Yeah, we just want to simmer stuff down. We're the reset button. Essentially, after we document everything, we figure out where the hot spots really are. Then we just like to fix it. We like to make it so your house is sort of like a baseline, and then you guys can start to work on it. But I really need to, stress to you, this is a work in progress because you've got a lot of factors at play that are going to keep messing with the energy, and you really are going to have to keep working on all of that.
Yes.
So it's not a one-stop shop, unfortunately.
Yes.
We can do a
It's a
lot,
start.
but it's a huge start. But there's so much more that you're going to have to invest energetically into
Just
things.
Just the fact that you were able to validate that
Yeah.
makes me not feel crazy.
Well, I
I'm
do
glad.
think that's immediately what you're gonna feel. Like it's
I did-
immediately.
I
I
did
know, it's
too.
coming out the door. I
Yeah.
mean, as soon as I walked by there, I went, whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait a minute.
Yeah. What's going on now?
Yeah, what's going on?
Now, do you think that that's what's bringing the activity into the hallway? Because you said that hallway was very active.
The hallway is very active.
Very active.
But I think it's a multitude of things. I think that there's some of your positive family spirits that are wandering back and forth and like trying to help everyone get in the rooms and do things.
Right.
And then there's a lot of his energy that's leaking out. That's also, kind of.
It's like a big crowd in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
All
lot of
bunched
stuff.
together.
It's a lot of stuff going on, kind of all at once.
What about the a person that's jumping on my bed?
I think that was actually somebody that ran. I think it was the old lady running into your bed because she wasn't
Yeah, I
paying
think she
attention.
Oh.
Klutzy.
I think she kind of just clumsily.